It's a pleasure to serve under your chairmanship, Ms. Waz. Today, I want to make a case for ending airport drop-off charges altogether, or at the very least, introducing a free grace period and for clear, consistent signages at all airports so that passengers know exactly what they're being charged and how to pay. I've received significant casework on this issue, and I know colleagues across Greater Manchester and across the country will share these concerns. The current system is unfair, confusing, and punitive. It does not work for passengers, and it's time for change. Manchester Airport is our international gateway. It is the third busiest airport in the United Kingdom and a vital engine for the North West economy. It should be a source of pride, not stress. Yet, the regime for dropping off and picking up passengers has become overly complex and for far too many people, deeply unfair. Let me start with the current rules. Outside each terminal, the tariff is £5 for up to 5 minutes, £6.40 for up to 10 minutes, and £25 for up to 30 minutes with a maximum stay of 30 minutes. Since the last spring, the airport has operated a barrierless automatic number plate recognition system. If you forget, or if the process is unclear in the rush and stress of drop-off, you're liable for a parking charge notice of £100 reduced to £60 if paid within 14 days. Now, I do not dispute that airports face operational pressures, forecourts are constrained spaces, and congestion causes delays and emissions. The aim of a barrierless system is to keep traffic moving. But we have to be honest about the human reality. A parent unloading luggage at 5 a.m. or a carer helping an elderly relative at a terminal door is not thinking about an online payment later that day. They should not receive a penalty notice in the post because there is no clear or simple way to pay at the time. There is a wider issue of value for money. The RAC has shown that the UK drop-off fees have increased across many airports, and on a cost per minute basis, Manchester is amongst the worst, charging £1 per minute for the first 5 minutes. This is hard to justify and out of step with passengers' experiences elsewhere. A member of my staff shared his experience from a recent holiday he took to Krakow Airport. For example, the drop-off pick-up area offers 8 minutes free, then a small fee of 5 zloty, which is about £1, per 4 minutes, thereafter with the simple rules, clear signs and visible ways to pay. Now I want to discuss the ground realities in Bolton. There is a direct rail link from Bolton to Manchester Airport. Typical journey time is around 36 to 45 minutes, and an off-peak singles can be found anywhere between £4 to £9. There's also a direct coach from Bolton Interchange taking about 65 minutes, a generally price range of £6 to £12. For many travellers, these options work, and we should promote and protect them, but they do not work for everyone. Say for a family of 4 with 2 large suitcases and a pushchair, catching a very early flight, or for people arriving back late at night, public transport is always not practical. For those who drive, the maze of choices remain problematic. The airport does provide a free drop-off at jet parks with a shuttle to terminals, which works for some people, but it's further away, involves a transfer, and is simply not suitable for those with mobility needs or heavy luggage. We should also reflect on the governance and accountability. Manchester Airport is part of the Manchester Airport Group, which is a unique ownership structure combining public and private shareholders. Manchester City Council owns 35.5%, IFM investors 35.5%, and the 9 other Greater Manchester councils, including Bolton, together own 29%. That public state brings with it responsibility to treat passengers fairly. So what should the government do? Many of my constituents would say the answer is simple. Scrap drop-off charges altogether, or at least introduce a short, free period for pickups and drop-offs. I recognise that all airports differ in size and layout, and one solution may not fit all. But there is a clear and a proportionate role for government in setting expectations around fairness, transparency, and consumer protection. Also, I believe that the airports should publish data on the number of drop-off penalties issued, how many are cancelled on appeal, and the reasons why. Now, the government's own position states that while airport parking charges are a matter for operators as commercial businesses, the Department for Transport expects parking to be managed appropriately and consumers treated fairly. But too many passengers feel that this expectation is not being met. I want to speak directly to the human element of this, because this is where my office casework has been the most compelling. The stories we have received follow a very clear pattern. People acting in good faith, anxious to get loved ones to the airport on time, unaware that payment cannot be made on site, and then shocked to receive penalty notice days later when they believe they've done everything right. The stress and frustrations are real, and they are avoidable, however. One constituent contacted me after dropping his wife at Manchester Airport and leaving after noticing that there were no barriers or pay stations. He then received a £100 fine in the post for not paying. He was stationary in the drop-off area for just 1 minute and 10 seconds. Had there been a pay station, he would have paid. Instead, he went home and then received what he felt was an entirely disproportionate fine for being there for less than 2 minutes. Another constituent contacted me after trying to pay online in good faith, but being unable to do so because of the problems with the website. He did not see the signage and was only made aware when he needed to pay after the fact. Despite trying to pay the £6.40 charge, he was unable to do so and received a £100 fine instead. That does not feel real or reasonable. And these are not isolated incidents. They reflect a system that relies too heavily on people remembering an online payment after the journey rather than clear prompts at the time. A short free window, clear exit prompts, and a one-time reminder invoice would prevent many of these cases entirely. Airports are the front door to our country. That front door should be welcoming, efficient, and fair. It should not depend on whether a tired or stressed driver remembers an online transaction later that day. It should reflect the reality of places like Bolton, where rail can be a good option, but it's not always practical. We have where the cost of a taxi plus forecourt fee can push travel beyond what many families can afford. With modest regulation, better design, and a willingness to learn from our European neighbours, we can manage traffic without turning airport forecourts into what feels like penalty for helping someone you care about.